Let me know when you feel like you can say it all the way to Santo without looking. Okay, when you can, now just do this to yourself or back to me. Cover it up once you feel like you've got it and see if you can do it without looking. Okay, you can say it if you want. Okay, if you still need to look, that's okay. Look down again if you missed something. Look at it. Sometimes you can only do maybe 4 or 5 words. That's okay. Look at those 4 or 5 words, then go like this, look up and say them. Okay, do as many as you can. Just do that many. Okay, go ahead. One more time. Okay. Perfect. Now we're going to go on to the next half, and we want to go quickly because we don't want to forget the first half. So here we go. Podréis conocer la verdad. I think I can do that much. Podréis conocer la verdad. Ooh, okay, I got that already. I'm going to add a couple words. De todas. Podréis conocer la verdad de todas. I think the rest was las cosas or something, right? Did I get it right? Oh, yeah, quick, do it again before I forget. Okay, do that a couple times to yourself.
Y por el poder del Espíritu Santo. Por el poder del Espíritu Santo. Podréis conocer. Y por el poder del Espíritu Santo.
De todas las cosas. Bueno.
Okay, very good. Now, some of you are already starting to work with each other. That's great. I'm now going to give you about 1 minute, and what I'd like you to do is turn to your companion and just go back and forth and do as much as you can. And if you get stuck, your companion can give you a little hint and then keep going. The goal here is to be able to get the whole verse as much as possible before we finish. Okay, so go ahead and just go back and forth, and the one that's saying it, the other one will look down and check you. You say it.
Espíritu Santo.
Todas las cosas. Try again. Give it 3 times.
Okay, time out for just a second, everyone. If you feel like you don't have it yet, and that's fine, don't worry about it. If you don't quite have it yet, then one of the things that you need to train yourself to do is cover the page and then look at just a little bit and then cover it and say it. This is like workouts with your muscles. Your mind is like a muscle and you're working your muscle. So cover it and then look at it and then cover it and say it. And each time you do it, add another word or two. Okay, you'll find that and make yourself say it from the beginning every time. It's grueling because you got to go over and over. But each time you do it, you'll be able to say the whole thing. And by the time you get to the last word, you know the first part really well because you've made yourself say it over and over. Remember, language is a mouth thing. You have to use your mouth to learn language. So just make yourself keep doing it. So start with as many words as you can do. Look at it, then say it. Then if you don't know the next word, look at the next word and say the whole thing from the beginning and keep adding a word. Now, if you have already said it, a couple of you have, then you're not done yet. You're right on the edge of got it. And you're right on the edge of maybe losing it. So you need to say it several more times. So keep going with your companion for another minute.
Podréis conocer todas las cosas, la verdad de todas las cosas.
Ah, sí. Muy bueno.
Gracias.
Podréis conocer y por la poder de todas las cosas. Podréis conocer la verdad y por todas las cosas.
Good job. Okay.
Poderes.
y por el poder del Espíritu Santo podréis conocer la verdad.
Todos cosas. It's like how. What does cosas mean again? Things. Things.
Perfecto.
Most likely.
Just gotta focus on the pronunciation.
Okay, I'm going to add one more thing for you. This is a variation on how to ramp up to knowing it. If you're still feeling a little stuck on parts, this is a fun way to help yourself get it faster. It still counts as memorized if you look at the English and say it right in Spanish. So if you want, look at your English scripture, and if you can say it, you'll find that it's actually pretty close. And so if you know the words, just look at your English and see if you can say it. That might help you if you're still not quite there. Okay? Okay. Coming along really well here. The last couple of steps are going to help you to nail it down completely. Several of you have got it and you're just repeating it over and over. It's getting faster. Okay? A couple of you are just working on refining it and finishing it up. That's great. Step 4 is apply it. Steps 2 and 3 really focus on the physical side. We're dissecting it and taking it apart, but when you're teaching, you don't want to be doing that. You want to be focused on the meaning. So we're going to come back now, full circle. Apply is to really use it for real, in real life, in the real world. And as missionaries, mostly that's going to mean with investigators, with less active members, and with members, and with each other. So let's use this verse for real, shall we? If you got it memorized, share it from your heart, from your memory. If you have to look a little bit, that's okay. Let's do it. We'll do a short practice, and let's do something like this. Let's see. Elder Bennett, would you be my partner here for a second?
Certainly.
Okay. Elder Bennett, I have a scripture that I've just been thinking about, and it's just a wonderful verse, and I just wonder if I'd like to share it with you. Is that all right?
See.
It's found in Moroni, and we're going to be sharing it a lot on our mission. It just has such great significance. It's great message. Moroni gave us this promise. He said, "Y por el poder del Espíritu Santo podréis conocer la verdad de todas las cosas." I know that that's true. I love this verse, and I'm looking forward to sharing it a lot in the days and months ahead. What do you think? You looking forward to that too?
I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Okay, so I made it a little bit real because I just shared something with my friend Elder Bennett, something that I care about and that was true. Was that real? Was that true? Okay, that was a very real situation. Very easy to do when you're around lots of missionaries. So you can do whatever situation is real for you, but make sure that it's real. We're going to apply it in the real world. So turn to a missionary near you. You can be your companion or anyone that you'd like. And I want you to share this verse and share it in Spanish the best you can from memory. If you want to do the rest of it in Spanish or English, that's up to you. Okay? You got just about 1 minute each.
So should we start with Spanish?
Holy Ghost.
Muy bien, gracias.
El
Yo
poder
share. I just don't remember.
del Espíritu Santo
Share.
podréis conocer la verdad de todas las cosas.
Y por
Okay. Very good, everyone. Now, you've applied it, you've used it, it's in your mind, and it's in your heart. This is wonderful. This has been a great learning experience. And it's been language, but it's been our missionary purpose, hasn't it? Isn't it fun to totally connect them together as we learn language? There's one last step, and this step is all important because right now you have firmly planted this verse in your short-term memory. The problem with short-term memory is it's short. We needed to go into long-term memory. What does it take to put something in long-term memory?
Practice.
Yeah, we need to do something called spaced review. All that means is you need to review it, and the first couple of times that you review something are going to be fairly close together. Like, if you don't review this for the next week, do you think some of you think you might not still remember it a week from today?
Yeah.
When's the next time you might want to review it if you want to know it really well?
Tonight.
Yeah, probably within the next 24 hours at the longest. So the first review comes pretty close after the time that you learned it. Then after that, you probably need to do another review that's not too much longer away after that one. I don't know what the exact distance is, but I've noticed that reviews get farther and farther apart the more you do. Have you ever noticed that? Like when you take when you learn something new in class, the teacher teaches it to you, then you do a homework assignment on it, then there might be a quiz on it, then there's a test on it, and then there's a final. The idea is you're reviewing it so that you don't have to start all over from scratch. I don't know how long these things go, but I do know that eventually you get way out here, and the reviews are pretty far apart. So, if you were really, really well organized, and I don't know how to do this, I'm sort of joking here, I would plan every single thing I learned and plan X number of reviews. So if I learned 10,000 words times 10 reviews, that's 100,000 reviews I need to do. That's impossible to organize that way. A better way is to say, every day, here is when I'm going to review stuff. Have any of you thought about that already? That you need to review? Some of your study time every day has to be review time. I don't know exactly how much, but it's going to be something like a fourth, probably a fifth or a fourth or a third of your study time just needs to be review time. It's just the way it is in mortality. Okay? And your language learning will go much better and much faster if you'll always do some review time every time that you've got language study time. Just go over the most recent stuff that you studied, because the most recent stuff is the most critical. And the stuff that you've reviewed several times isn't as critical. You can review it once in a while. That's all you got to do. And how should you review when you review something?
Out loud. Repeat.
Yeah. Remember, if you just review with your eyes and your mind, then that's the only thing that's going to remember. The muscle memory may be in your eyes going back and forth and your brain, because that's like a muscle. But if you practice with your mouth, then your mouth muscles will help remember. You want to use everything you can to help you to remember. Plus, that's good practice for fluency and pronunciation. The first few reviews, generally you need your notes to check. Sometimes you forget a little bit and you check and you do it again without looking. So these first reviews generally are sitting down. Usually they're with stuff in front of you. These reviews are when you're riding your bike through your area, when you're sitting on a train, when you're in the shower. You tend to know stuff really well when you get out to the later reviews, and you can just review it because it's fun. You know, listening to yourself talk. So, any questions on this? So what I want you to do is pull out your planners and actually write something down that will remind you to do the reviews, or even better, to start organizing reviews into your language study plan. You want to do something to make sure that you review this verse, but also that you review everything that you're learning. Something in your planner that will help you to always review. And then as you continue to plan, you can add more to your planner to make sure your reviews are effective.
Yeah, it'll be better when we get up to the field next to have like study time.
Yeah. We're gonna we'll have 3 hours of that day.
Fine.
In classroom.
Oh, okay.
Just like Elizabeth.
Okay, very good. That's it. Those are the 5 steps of language learning. Focus on meaning, focus on the physical words, practice it out loud until you can do it without looking, apply it for real, and then make sure that you've got spaced reviews. Do that with everything you learn in your mission language. All right? And if you do, I promise you that you will have great success, and that as your language learning facility, your muscles for language learning build up, you'll just shock yourself at how fast the language learning goes. All right? It's been a pleasure to work with you today, and we'll see you next time.